My dear viewers and listeners, I welcome you again to our programs on character formation. And today we want to discuss about self-regulation. I'm very sure as a human person, you must have had a situation where you became angry and at some point you were overtaken by emotions, maybe emotions of anger, maybe some emotions of some appetite, and later you realized that what you had done was not the right thing. What we lack in such a situation when we do things that we do not intend to is we lack this character trait called self-regulation. What is self-regulation? Self-regulation is the ability to control passions and emotions and impulses that come to us. That ability to be yourself, to think, is what we call self-regulation. Self-regulation is also an ability to cheer yourself up after a stressful or a depressing situation. You know, we go through many distressful conditions, and self-regulation is that ability to bounce back and to cheer yourself up after such an experience. An experiment was undertaken in the United States of America some years back using a marshmallow. It's called a marshmallow experience, where the trainer put some young kids, young children in a table, and he gave them this marshmallow, which is a very juicy kind of a thing. It's like a chocolate, very attractive and very enticing for the young kids. And he told them that they are to sit next to the marshmallow and they're not to take it. In the experiment, it was noted that the kids who endured to the end, later on in life, they became people who had self-regulation. But those who could not endure and those who ate the marshmallow were found to be people who would always have be driven by impulses and emotions. So from this, it was noted that it is good to train self-regulation and know that anybody who is self-regulated can stand impulses and emotions and appetites. And that helps in your social life and helps in the daily life of every human person. Why do we have to develop that resilience, that strength against the impulses of our own bodies and our own maybe passions? There are several things that help us when we become self-regulated. A self-regulated person is very much acceptable in any society. Any society would accept a person who does not become angry very fast, a person who is not driven by his own bodily impulses. Any society would accept that. So self-regulation helps you to fit well in any society where you are. Whether you are in school, you'll be acceptable in the school. If you are in a church, you'll find yourself acceptable in the church. And in every community, people will love you because you are self-regulated. You don't act out of impulse. Self-regulation also helps us to build some psychological muscles. You know, when you are self-regulated, it means that you build some strength within yourself to stand against the storms that come in life. You don't act just because your body or your emotion have told you to act. And it saves you from a lot of some wrong doings, and sometimes it prevents you from doing things that you have not planned. So self-regulation helps and it strengthens your personality as a person. Self-regulation also disciplines a person. A disciplined person is an admirable person. A person who is disciplined is a person who is self-regulated. That means is a person who can see a thing that the body is saying, do this, and within himself he thinks twice or thrice and says, I will not do it because the body is saying I do it. So a self-regulated person is a person who is disciplined, and a disciplined person is a good person. Self-regulation is also transferable. If you are self-regulated in one aspect of your life, it is transferred to other aspects of your life. If you are self-regulated in an emotion like anger, it will be transferred to other appetites, even sexual appetites. You'll be self-regulated in sexual appetite, anger, and other temptations that come your way. So one of the importance of developing self-regulation is it helps you from doing bad things. Not only the passion that you have, but even it helps in other aspects of your life. There are some examples that I can give about self-regulation. You can late this week there was a game between Brighton and Manchester, and Manchester was beaten 4-0 by Brighton. And there's this guy who is a serious fan of Manchester. When he saw the fourth goal, he smashed his television set, and he said, "No, Manchester cannot miss this match." That man was lacking self-regulation. Who went lost? It is him, because he had now to go to another budget to buying a television, another television set. So self-regulation sometimes can make you even lose a lot in yourself, and even sometimes regret the actions that you do. Another example of self-regulation, there was a time in Kenyatta University, Mark and Jane were admitted to Kenyatta University to take mass communication. But when they arrived, they realized that most of the students who were admitted for mass communication were changing to law. And as they were discussing, Jane said, "Now I have to change my course." So Jane went ahead and changed her course from mass communication to law. But Mark stayed put. He said, "I have passion for mass communication." Now, between the two, Jane and Mark, Jane was not self-regulated because she acted out of the external influence from her friends, and even seeing other people moving from mass communication to law. She did not think about herself and what she likes most. But Mark stood his ground and said, "No, I cannot change what I like most." So self-regulation can apply and applies in all aspects of our life. This psychologist, Julian Rotter, who, discussing self-regulation, came up with two aspects, opposing aspects in a human person. And he talked about the locus of control. There is the external locus of control and the internal locus of control. And he said that anyone who has external locus of control means that his actions or her actions are controlled from external forces. That means the decisions that you make are influenced by factors that are outside you, that are external. And many people who have that external locus of control, they don't attribute anything to themselves. They actually blame even other things for their own mistakes. These are the kind of people, if they are students, they will blame the teachers for their failure in exam. These are the people, if there is anything, they say, things are controlled by luck. These are people who will say, if they fail in business, they say, "I am bewitched." If they fail in exam, they say, "I am bewitched. Somebody is behind my loss. Somebody is behind my failure." These are people who have external locus of control. And actually, most of the time, the people with the external locus of control, they don't fight, they don't struggle to change the situation because they say life is determined. God has drawn a graph for me. So I need, even if something happens to me, I have no control because God has controlled it. These are people with external locus of control, according to Julian Rotter. But he discusses a person with internal locus of control as a person who knows that the situation and things in life are controlled by himself. He or she is the determinant of everything that happens. That means if it's an exam, he knows that his own success is determined by hard work. He knows that if he is to attain be successful in business, he must work hard, he must save, he must practice some money discipline, the way he's handling money. And he knows that any success is determined by him. People who have internal locus of control would always see life to be determined by their own actions. And if they do a mistake, they don't blame other people, but they experience, they internalize the mistake, and they know that I've done this mistake, so I need to change. And this person with the internal locus of control is a person with very strong self-regulation, and this is a person with a very strong personality. My dear friends, in the Bible we have some examples of people who exercised self-regulation. The story of Nehemiah, when he was rebuilding the city of Jerusalem, the temple of Jerusalem. You remember that the people who were surrounding the Jerusalem, they wanted to attack the people of Israel who were rebuilding the city. And Nehemiah did not fight back. He put some soldiers to guard the others as they worked. He controlled himself. He showed that he had self-regulation within himself. The book of Proverbs says that whoever is slow to anger is better than the mighty. Whoever does not get angry is better than a owner of a great city. Thank you so much. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel is a Step Up Character Development Program. Thank you so much.